then yeah, do the other thing. It just says we have 4 people waiting. Like there's people in the chat.
Nope.
Oh, the viewers are
Oh,
back. Are we
there it
live?
is.
Are we live, baby?
Ayo. All right.
What's
We're having
up,
a couple technical
everybody? Welcome to
difficulties, but
another Literal Live.
we're doing it live. All right. What's up, everybody? I think Bobby. Oh, there we go. We got Bobby back too. We had some technical difficulties. Bobby, Bob, you want to mute your mic?
Yeah, mute your call.
Okay, so yeah, everybody, what's up, everybody? We are back. Live to Roll Live. We had some technical difficulties. Not sure what was going on, but we got the stream going now. Hope everybody's doing good. Yeah, today we're talking about balancing energy and time, managing yourself, your body, health. So yeah, let's do some intros. Shawn, C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident 19 years ago. Tom, go for it, bro.
What's up? I'm Tom Conaway. I'm a C6B quadriplegic from an automobile accident 25 years ago, almost 26. Coming up in a month. God damn, I'm getting old. And we got our other host, Bobby. I'm going to do a little intro for him. His name is Bobby Rohan. He's a C5-6, CDE,
Oh, he's
and
on.
F
I hear him crunching.
quadriplegic. He's over here eating food and talking on the phone and not being respectful to the live. Gosh darn it. How long you been injured, Bobby? 30
Hold on.
years?
Hold on.
No, no. You're gonna scare off our viewers, Bobby. We want people to watch this hang around. God damn it.
I was joking with these guys before, trying to scarf my food down, but
We
now
haven't told the public that we're switching to a mukbang food eating channel.
there you
We're
go.
gonna
Yeah,
announce that soon. We're gonna announce that
but now
soon.
I know my blood pressure is going to drop here soon, so you guys are going to see this. Whoa, as I'm trying to get my blood pressure up or going like this to do anything. But I'm good, man. Thanks a lot. I was I had to take a quick phone call regarding my parents. My mom wasn't feeling good. I talked to her half an hour ago. She says nothing. Then her friend calls me and says I had to go get her liquid IV because of her. She was dehydrated. I'm like, thanks, mom. But I am great, man. I am feeling good. I was telling these boys I'm super hyper. Life is so good. It couldn't be better. And especially now, I'm even happier because we're live here on our channel and we have a great topic today. Not sure if you announced that topic, Shawn, but it was once I saw Shawn tell me about, or once I heard Shawn tell me about it, it was like I just dealt with it. So that's what I
Well, speaking of being hyper, how do you do, Bobby? How do you come on the show so hyper and ready to go?
am. Cocaine. I did no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I was lagging this morning, a little tired. Um, and it kicked right in. I don't know. I went over to wound care this afternoon at 1. Um, we did. We tried it like 3 weeks ago, and they're going to be doing it now every week. And it's a new procedure. I'm hopeful for it a little bit, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Is it still the
Um,
wound on your coccyx, like your tailbone?
yeah, it's a surgical. He's like, it's a chronic wound. Live your life. Live your life. I did 56 kilometers yesterday. Not yesterday, all last week. And so, I mean, I'm doing that. I'm getting out, you know, loving
What?
life.
I mean, getting back to it, like getting back to your normal activity level and stuff. Um, does has it like had any negative side effects on the wound? Could it potentially like you have to be extra careful? Is it just at a point where it is what it is now? You just gotta keep an eye on it and maintain it the best you can.
The beauty is it's the same size as it was a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So it's not getting any worse. It's not getting any better. It didn't get better when I laid on my side for 6 months. It didn't get any better when I went to stem cell treatments. It didn't get any better using the hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah.
It's
But
it's the cleanest thing they've ever seen in a wound.
I was just talking to my mom about this the other day. My grandpa just like on the gaming stream. Like last week, we talked about it a little bit. He was like going to the ER because he was in some pain and having some issues, and it turns out he like fractured his lower back. Not like super severely, but he's an old man. You know, he's like mid 80s, and it's like no kidneys, no bladder, like 100% dialysis. So he's got like a combination of things going on, but she was just talking. He's just gotten back to kind of getting his energy back and adjusting to such extreme dialysis, and he's gotten more mobile again, and he's getting out on his little mule and driving around the orchard, and getting up and walking out to his observatory in his office and hanging out. But we're just like afraid that with his lower back being fractured, like he's going to be maybe losing some progress again. Or I mean, the doctor basically said, chill out, like don't move too much. But I think part of recovery and healing is like healthy movement. You don't want to like be going running marathons or like pushing your body too hard to where you're hurting yourself. But like I think it is like hugely beneficial, like circulation and like healthy movement, healthy exercise. I think really can help facilitate the fastest healing if you can find a way to do that. But again, easier said than done. I think
Yeah,
a lot of
but I did. So I have this uh, this gal. Hey, playing with her bear. I have this gal that has joined our support groups for 3 years. She's probably in her mid 60s and incomplete quad of like maybe 6'7". Nice gal. She uses a scooter, and she finally joined our exercise program, staying driven. And she doesn't use weights. She doesn't go hard at the exercise. She just, movement like
yeah.
this. And I saw her Saturday night, and she's like, I feel alive. I feel better than I've ever felt. It's not that she's trying to lose weight or get fit. I mean, get muscle or fit. She's just doing it to movement. Movement is key. You always talk about it, Tom. And movement is key. So I think that's
Even if
it.
that movement is getting up in your chair and rolling outside, sitting in the sun, rolling through your neighborhood for, half an hour, just moving, get some fresh air, like moving your body. Like that's what energizes me. Like as weird as it says, like I mean I can be dragging and like feeling like super tired and like really low and feeling like shit until I'm like up and I'm like had a chance to move around for an hour, and then I'm like, oh, there it is, like, and I don't know what that. There's like something physiological or like metabolic like going on physically in my body, but like just getting my body moving is what helps makes me feel energized and feel good.
What
I mean,
what
even after
happened?
work,
It does help.
sometimes.
What happens is the endorphins and the dopamine are released a little bit more, and so once you get those to release, that increase what I'm feeling today, happiness, with movement, and with our topic, I'll explain more. But I was dead for Sunday and Monday, and halfway Tuesday, and that's or today is Tuesday, or all of Monday almost, and then some even this morning a little bit until finally I got my groove. But but I've been feeling good because I'm moving. I got in my car, went to the doctor's, got home, got in time to scarf my lunch down in front of you guys and get on this channel, and then I coach later on.
Um, I just want to take a second to shout out a couple of our peeps in the chat. What's up, Wheelie Awesome Adventures? Buddy Kevin, CP420, Jeff, Doom, Daryl, Hip Crip, Mama, Caesar. I know you just said you, Nadine. You said you just joined, dude. We can totally answer that question about cupping. Shawn does it very regularly to help with his muscles and stuff. And if y'all do got any other questions, we can definitely try to answer them. That's what we're here to do, talk. So No worries about asking questions that are off topic because we can definitely talk about it. I just wanted to say a big shout out to everybody who's here, hanging out in the chat, and thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you, love you. Hope you're having a great Tuesday wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. And it is a little hot. It's a little hot. And that was a comment Caesar said. Even in this triple digit weather,
Go.
I mean,
There's ways that you can work out either inside or a good thing in the summer. I know a lot of people do. Go to the mall. Like nobody goes to malls anymore, but you can still go. They got air conditioning. You can go push around a big, nice, open little area. They'll be
And
grateful people are in the mall.
and here's the beauty about the mall. And this is a lot of times when I need to get back into shape after being in the hospital a few times, but you can go at like 7 o'clock in the morning if you
It's a,
like getting up and have the mall to yourself with other walkers. They open up the mall for walkers all the time,
you
and
know,
most of the mall opens at 10. So you get, I'd be booking around the mall, and
I
so
went
me,
to the mall early, not too long ago, and a bunch of people were just walking around. Everything was closed. I'm like, what is this? But they were all just like elderly people walking around in like a cool environment. So
yeah,
I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
and that's how I got to learn how to push my own wheelchair. When I got out of the hospital, I mean, this is me pushing my chair when I got out. And then I would go to the mall and it was like, okay, this is easier. Until finally I was like, oh, I'm getting the hang of
Yeah.
it. And it helped by being at the mall. It's flat. It's the tile that you like.
yeah. No
They're
carpet.
it's cool.
Yeah,
And
Nothing like pushing on some linoleum. That's for
yeah.
oh yeah.
sure.
You just
Uh,
wish the whole world
that's,
was like this.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a
Uh,
great place to start building up your strength if you are working on pushing, and just to get that exercise movement, get out, stays cool. But
So the other part of this, I think
yeah,
that is very important, and I just like the topic when you brought it up to me too, just like Bobby, is balancing time and energy. I don't know, like one of the I think most important skills to learn with any disability, maybe even more so for more severe disabilities, is patience. Um, it, you know, Nothing is quick living the quad life. Sometimes things can be, but very rarely so. Especially the more I think you push for independence, it's like a little bit of give and take. Because some things, like I'm probably more independent than I have ever been in my whole life. Um, and that's like probably I think a good thing and maybe a bad thing, and that I think I've pushed the bounds a little too far. Considering my situation and my disability, like I want to do it all myself, but I can't, and that's frustrating and sucks. And it's just kind of a hard thing I got to accept. But learning patience while developing these skills for independence was paramount because everything takes a fucking long ass time. And I'm sorry for cursing, but like it's just too real. Like I gotta say it because everything does take a long ass time,
yeah,
and
doing things
it
independently
takes a
takes.
lot of energy too. Like when I get up and get dressed in the morning, Shawn called me and I was like putting my pants on. It's like, bro, naked. What are you doing calling me? But it was like, cause it was like closer to the end of like my morning routine. But like I'd been at it for shit an hour and a half. Like get myself cleaned up, get myself, I got my cup of coffee, transfer back in bed with my clothes and stuff, and I was like, shit, like almost like 2 hours into my like morning routine. And that's how long it takes with a nurse or caregiver too. The only difference is like, I'm like showering and like doing my bowel care and stuff. And I mean, it's still like, 6 to 8, 6 to 8:30. Um, the amount of time, the amount of energy it takes for something simple like that. Just getting up and getting started with your day, and then you gotta still do your whole day. it's like a bit of a balancing act, like one, not getting frustrated with the amount of time that it takes, um, making sure you get up at a reasonable time, and like, I mean, it's okay if some days you kill half your day like getting ready and getting going, but I don't know, a lot of times I got like a whole day of shit that I got to go out and do, or that I want to go out and do, and I don't have the luxury of you know taking my time, because I gotta get going. So that's when like preparedness and like planning comes really into play. It can be really difficult to do that sometimes effectively. Like, I don't know, like a lot of times I'll plan for my mornings and set out my clothes and things like that, and um, things won't go to plan, and I'll have to change, or I'll have to get up and grab a different pair of pants because I didn't realize that last week, while I was adjusting my clothes, I ripped a big hole in the crotch, and it's not gonna work, all day going out. And I mean, there's just lots of things that can happen, an infinite number of things that can happen, and not that can happen, but will happen. Having the patience and the preparedness to, I think, handle those things and you know work it out, figure it out, is definitely a learned thing. Something that just doesn't happen overnight. Um, and then, yeah, having, again, I keep saying it, having the patience to handle it all and not get too frustrated, I think is really important. Big part of it. What's your guys' experience with that kind of stuff?
I mean, you know me, I'm always pushing myself too far and trying to do more of my own care than I should and more of my everything just and trying to be at everything um but yeah, I know it does like you said like when I the mornings I'm kind of managing getting myself up and everything like it's more of a drain for sure. Like this weekend traveling and being away too, getting up on like I had the care at one morning, but the other couple mornings, I was getting up on my own and doing it in the a different environment and stuff makes it even more challenging. Um, and just yeah, just that energy is fleeting, and by the end of the day, you are kind of a little bit drained typically, and yeah, it's just it's hard to manage, and the patience is like to have yeah to like you said, you just have to kind of take your time, do it, don't overdo it, and yeah, I don't know, man.
And I don't know, the patience just isn't like when it comes to our care. I mean, for me, I feel like it's literally every aspect of my life. Like food prep, big one. Y'all have seen me spend, 2.5 hours on a freaking pod, like trying to, get a couple tacos ready for you guys in a reasonable amount of time. But, like that's every day. That's every day for me and that's not just dinner. Like that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm not sitting here spending all day cooking. I like snack on my granola bar and my cup of coffee in the morning, like I kind of do my intermittent fasting and like, prepare my one big meal for the day and like, like eat kind of my lunch slash dinner and stuff. Like I definitely have a way of going about it. But, then when you talk about transportation, taking the bus everywhere, waiting for access and shared rides where, it's 3 hours to get, an hour away and then another 3 hours to get back home. And we're talking about, a 6 hour commute to like get downtown and stuff like that. And I don't know, like shit, absolutely freaking frustrating and hard and difficult, because I don't want to spend 6 hours sitting in a car. I want to spend 2 hours, getting to where I need to go, getting back home, and then those other 4 hours doing the things I'm meant to be doing, or the things I like to be doing, or whatever I'm there to do, or even just chilling, resting, playing some games, kicking it, getting on that food prep that I gotta do anyways. And again, I can go on and on and on. It's just kind of, I think, a reality of living with disability to a certain degree, and it's different for every disability too. How do I learn, again, I feel like I'm a pretty patient person. One, because I've been dealing with this my whole life. So, I just like learned to, you know, acclimate to it, like I just have an inherent understanding of it now because I've been doing it forever, and it still certainly does frustrate me um, sometimes, but I deal with it a lot better now, being older and just going through all those lived experiences. Um, and yeah, I don't know, like I still get frustrated too. How do I deal with it in those moments? Shawn has seen me break. He's seen when I've lost my patience, and I'm like cursing at the airport attendant like escorting me to the customer service and stuff after spending hours sitting uncomfortable on airplanes and stuff.
Yeah, that
Um,
took a
I
while
I have
though to get you there. Like I've seen you endure quite a bit of.
Yeah, but I just wanted to share that you will break. Everybody does.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
um, not letting it affect you too much. I think is again like the learned part. It's so difficult sometimes where you're just tired. You're out of energy.
Mhm.
You're at your wits end. With whatever it is that's slowing you down or frustrating you, and you're looking at everybody kind of breezing through past you, like ambulating, getting up, and it just seems all so easy for everybody else, and you're like, oh, why me? Like, God, this is so freaking hard. Like I'm so tired, I'm so frustrated. And then you gotta, I don't know, like my mechanisms for not breaking too hard is getting outside, taking a hit off my vape, smoking a little bit of weed, chilling out. I mean, seriously, like I
it
just
does help de-stress a
helps
lot.
me calm down. Like like it gives me a little bit of patience because, like shit, I can just chill and relax for a second. Take a minute, take your time. Don't worry about it. Don't think about the time that it's taking you. You're gonna get to your destination at some point and stuff. My biggest problem when I usually get the most frustrated and the most upset is when I'm going out to meet people and stuff, and I have an accident and I got to spend an extra 2 hours cleaning myself up and changing before I can even get going to where I need to go, and then people are waiting on me, or like my access is driving me, all over LA, and like I'm supposed to be getting to something fun, something that, like people are waiting for me, like my peeps are waiting for me, Shawn's waiting for me or something. And it's upsetting. And that's when it gets really hard. And I don't know, like I put on my podcast, like I put on my music, I put on, audiobook or something that, does help just distract me and take my mind off of, like sitting in an access van for 3 hours that it takes to get there. Um,
That's a
so
I
I
have
don't
a
know.
problem as well, dude. I hate making people wait on me, and then like if I'm stuck in traffic, stuck in something like where I can't do anything about it, it's so hard, and like my anxiety and frustration goes just a little bit wild. But I have to try. Same thing. Like I'll try to listen to music and like you said, like distract myself. Like I don't know if Bobby has to do the same, but but that is very much what
Yeah, I can tell you this little story is, when we were younger, man, we could do a lot more. We can balance anything almost what we want. I mean, AB wheelchair sometimes for some of us where uh, I was working a eight to five job. I was doing DME, and it wasn't even to five. Sometimes it was 6 to 7, and meaning because I was on call, I was doing measurements for wheelchairs and specing chairs and delivering and all that good stuff. And I get off and I would go out to the movies, go out with a girlfriend. Every Thursday night, I was out at the country western bar called Borderline at the time, and it was actually the one that got shot up. And that was every Thursday night for me, every Thursday night. And eventually it did turn into where I got to meet my wife because of that. Yeah, but there because of Thursday nights, I get home at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then be back at work at 8. And there was one time that I I used to get up. My aide would get me up, and we'd have to get up at 5, shower, do the 4 S's, and then I would drive to McDonald's and get a cup of coffee. And that was, a morning routine I had every morning, no matter what day it was. But this one particular Friday morning, it's cold outside, and I'm just sitting there laying back because I'm still just exhausted, and my car's running, the heater's blasting. I fell asleep. I passed out. And next thing I know, I hear this cop banging on my window. And, it was so embarrassing, and it was a grind to keep that up. And I'm like, I got to slow down on going out at night sometimes. And so I had to change my ways a little bit. And now the older you get, it's not as easy. I mean, I was Wednesday, I had to drive up to the valley, and for me, it's 60 miles, but you have to drive through this country, this foreign country called Los Angeles. And
Yeah.
if anybody who lives out here knows Los Angeles, you don't get there in an hour. You get there in 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it's just getting worse. The 101 freeway. I don't know anybody who lives out there does that
The
101.
101 is rough.
Woo, it's skinny. It's has no room anymore, and so it's frustrating. I drive like a grandpa now. I don't care. So I'm slow. Yeah, it's a little frustrating. I'm in traffic, but sometimes when I'm in traffic, I'm like, good, because when you're speeding and you're doing 70, in the freeways, you've got to be alert because people are driving 90. And so I feel like I got to be more on when I'm driving faster than when I'm driving slower. But this weekend I had to be up there on Wednesday, and then Thursday we had baseball game, and then Friday we had another baseball game that didn't end until 9, almost 9:30 when we drove out of the parking lot. Go get dinner, come home, eat, have the grandkids, shower, next morning be up, get him back over to the baseball field because he had another game at 10:30 in the morning. Then after the game, we had to drive up to LA to Universal for a fundraiser. Stayed up until 1 o'clock in the morning. Luckily, I got a hotel. Next morning, I had to be in the valley again to help my parents out and drive home by Sunday. I was driving home and I wanted to throw. I was just done. Did too much. And my wife's like, and on top of it, my wife's like, you did too much cycling all last week too. You did. I did 56 kilometers of hand cycling last week. So I got to
Well,
balance.
I think what you said is like absolutely right. Like balance, like was important. You find yourself doing too much. Like obviously you gotta find a balance. Like be like, why do I feel like shit? It's like, oh, because I pushed 56 kilometers last week and I did all this stuff and it's Sunday and I'm freaking tired. My body hurts. Like I'm going to sleep. Like it's a lot. But the other part of it too, by what you said, I think is really important is creating healthy habits for yourself. I like when I first moved out, like was going to school and partying with my buzz. Like I was like you, I was just ripping and roaring. Like every day, I'd be up at 6. I wouldn't be home until 11. I'd be in bed by 1. I'd be up at 6 again. I do that all week long, and then Friday would come around and I go out with my buddies. We drink until 2 in the morning. I go back to their place, pass out in my chair, go home and like do my care at 6, and then just get up in my chair again and do 48 hours in my chair. Like, and again, I don't like to think back to that too much and like maybe the detriment and the damage I caused to my body. Again, I would have never trade those experiences and those times for anything because they were just some of the best in my life. Um, but I did need to accept some realities and develop some healthier habits and some healthier routines because it did like get to a point where like you sitting there with a UTI, like hurting from like all the dehydration and the drinking, like like my coccyx is like hurting me, like I'm spasming because I'm like sitting too much in my chair, and my feet look like balloons because I'm not spending enough time out of my chair, and like the circulation, like just, it's not good for you, not healthy for you.
Mhm.
So you developing those healthier habits, like I love to stay up late. I'm a night owl. I still am to this day. I don't know what it is. Some nights, like, just like up until 3 in the morning. I don't know why. Just
Damn,
like
Tom.
my brain doesn't like to turn off. Um, Rather than staying up in my chair, uh,
No, I'm,
until
I'm
3 a.m. Like I gotta get in my bed. Like I have to because my feet
oh,
will start to swell up. Like my hips and my butt will hurt from being in my chair for too long. And um, healthier habit. I just need to like be like, bro, this is gonna hurt you. Like it's not good for you. So you gotta do it for your health. And then you can just as easily, be in bed, sit the head of your bed up and, like do what you're doing now. But treat your body better and more,
no.
like
My
be
bed,
healthy.
my sorry, Tom.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, my bedtime is. I want to be out of my chair by 8:30. You
Yeah,
know, and
and
if I'm not, I'm not a happy camper. And the frustrating thing is, then I rely on my wife to grab a couple more items that I kind of forgot. So I have to. One is preparing what you might need. To the side, but I need. The song. What's that song? My hips don't lie. Whatever her name was.
Shakira, the
Hips
hips
don't. Yeah,
don't lie.
Shakira. Man, my hips don't lie at 8:30. It's like
Yeah, dude.
get the hell out of your chair. Get down, watch TV in bed. Because I used to watch TV until 10:30, 11. Always in the family room, and now it's just like I can watch it in my bedroom. What the, duh, you know. Go in, brush your teeth, get in bed. Take your medicine and relax. And
Yeah.
and when we were at the baseball game on Friday night, and it was close to 9:30. I'm like, it is so past my bedtime right now. I don't go to sleep. I stay up and usually want to try to turn off the TV roughly between 10:30 and 11. But it's just now I want to get out of my chair. It's not fun on my back and my hips to be. Um, yeah, Brianna, I get grumpy too, and I'm the same way. And I had a couple comments. I forget who said it, but I think hip grips have one of them. But getting frustrated with dropping things. Oh, nowadays, like the other day, I just let my shaver go to till it died. I dropped my electric shaver. And it was a little bit for I'm like it's low on battery. I went in back in the bathroom an hour later, it's still going. Like, eventually, it would die. And then now, somebody else said about having the door open for them. I was a stickler for. I want to open my own door. Now I could. I will not open a door if I don't have to. Now I'm just like, who's around, man? Because I don't want that door open for me. I've done it. I did it. I've done it. No more. I've proven everything I needed to prove to myself about my independence. Now it's time for help. Your mom,
Yeah.
I forget if it was your mom or your sister said it just right. Hey, I'll stay
My
in.
mom was
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's it's okay. We want to help, and I know that.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I feel that. Last week, for me, I had this container of coffee I bought at Vons. It was like Starbucks iced coffee. Like shit, save some money instead of $4 cup of coffee. At Starbucks, like I'll just get a container. Do some at home. Do my iced coffees and stuff, and open the fridge. Container fell on the ground. Lid popped off. Like a liter of coffee just like poured all on my floor. Cleaned it up with a towel or whatever. Honestly, wasn't too bad. Tossed the towel in the hamper. Got my baked ZD bolognese out of the fridge. I'm like super excited for like my pasta dinner that like looks really good. And I'm like going to put it in my toaster oven. And like I don't know what happened, but like it just slipped and it fell to the ground and all the pasta fell out of the container all over the floor. And I was just like, fuck. I called my girlfriend. Like, my mom, like, I've done this multiple times. Where, like, I've called my mom. I was just like, she said it, like, in tears. Like, after I just made my food and, like, I dropped my dinner on the floor. And I'm just like, fuck, like I gotta clean all this shit up, and then I still don't have any food, and I'm freaking hungry, and I'm tired, and like it just like it breaks you, it does. Like I call my girlfriend, like, oh my god, like I just dropped my big ziti, like I don't know what I'm gonna do, like I don't even have any more food in the fridge to eat, like, and I ended up just grabbing something like small out of my pantry. I think I like did some instant mashed potatoes or something. I was just like screwed. I was just so frustrated. I lost my appetite anyways, or whatever. And I don't know, like those moments can break you, but they can also teach you. Like when I can look back and laugh now because like it is funny. I did clean it, Angry Quad. I cleaned it all
Oh,
up off the floor. I scooped
that
my freaking big ziti into my dustpan and I got it up off the floor and I tossed it on the ground. And there was still a piece of pasta on the floor and definitely some marinara stuck to it. But I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna leave that until I got some help. Somebody to help me out with my floor or whatever. And I don't know, like having some self awareness in those moments. It's almost impossible to like sit there and tell yourself like, dude, it's gonna be okay. Like it's gonna be all right. Like um, order some pizza. The Uber Eats. I don't like to Uber Eats because it's like so damn expensive for like all the delivery shit and like twice as much money for your food. But screw it, dude. You deserve it. You got the means to afford it, then freaking go for it. Like it is what it is. Sometimes you just have to tell yourself like, dude, it's cool. Call somebody. Call somebody. Call your mama. Call your girlfriend. Call a friend. Call your brother. Call your sister. Call anybody if you got somebody to call, and tell them what's happening and vent for a few minutes, and get like you will get through it and you will get over it. Will you have the energy and the ability to make another dinner again? Maybe not, but what can you do in the meantime to figure it out? I promise tomorrow morning, like when you wake up, you're not going to be, thinking about it. Like you're not going to be worried about it because it will have passed and you will get through it. You know, ask for help if you have help that's available. I don't know. Like I broke this Sunday, you guys. Um, I got like I put myself in a tough care situation. I am working every day and like working really hard to remedy this and try to get some more help. But anybody that knows, caregiver transition and organizing and balancing all this stuff, like the one thing it takes is time. Right? What are you doing? Like the 2 months it takes to like interview and hire caregivers and stuff. Like when you don't have anybody, well, shit, you got to figure it out. Now I put myself in a situation. I only got like 2 days a week of help for like a couple hours in the morning, 2 hours in the morning, and like that's what I'm working with right now. I'm blessed to have some beautiful, amazing people in my life that are still here and help me out all the time. Shout out Kit Kat. You're amazing. Love you. Appreciate you. My sister. My mama, my papa. But I've the last 2 weeks I've been doing my thing. I've been doing pretty well. I've been operating, keeping myself healthy, keeping myself feeling pretty good, well enough to go out and do the things that I need to do and want to do. But this Sunday morning, I woke up, was feeling good. Sunday morning, didn't have any reason to like put some clothes on before I transferred into my chair and went and got my cup of coffee. But I transferred and I had a fucking accident in my chair on my seat cushion.
Damn.
Like just and I don't know, like it fucking broke me. Like I didn't have like I had a basket like full of laundry and stuff. I ran out of chucks. I didn't have any more chucks. I didn't have any means to get any. I like it just freaking broke me. I felt so lost. I felt so hopeless in that moment. And I called my mama and it was her day off and she lives 2 hours away from me, but she hopped in her car and she drove, to me and helped me out. help me with my laundry, help get me taken care of and cleaned up, help cook me some food so I had, like a meal in my fridge to, not have to worry about that night. And, I'd been doing it and I'd been doing it well. And I got to a point where I couldn't do it. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the ability. I didn't have the supplies to make it work. And that was it's hard for me. I think it's hard for anybody to be in that situation where you're kind of helpless. Where I don't know. Even then, I didn't want to ask for help. Even having the people to ask for help. It's still a hard thing because I knew that my mom had worked, you know, 50 or 60 hours that week and commuted an additional 15 hours on top of that and had gone home and taken care of my dad and taken care of my grandpa and worked and stuff. And like, I don't know, like it just felt almost impossible to like ask her, like after working and being tired, all she did to drive 2 hours and spend the day helping me out, even though I knew that like she's more than willing and happy and able to do it. It's just such a hard thing for me to do. Um,
Making me cry, dude.
it's what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky and thankful every day. I'm so, so grateful and make sure I don't forget how grateful I am to have that help. But we all get to that point, and it's okay to get there. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to need it sometimes because you can't do it all. You can't do it all on your own. It's impossible, I think, to do it all on your own, all by yourself, all the time. And I do really well a lot of the time. But accepting your limitations, accepting help where you need help, and working to organize it so you know you don't end up in those kind of really tough, desperate situations. Um, is is what you got to do. Is the way to operate and the way to do it. And again, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a little jumbled at the end of this, but I don't know, like it's kind of like a thing about when Shawn brought this topic up. Um, it's like how I just broke 2 days ago. Like thinking like I could do it all and like I can like balance my time and my energy and like make it all work. And I failed to do it, and I only failed for a couple hours. I got some help. Like I did what I could on my own. My girlfriend came over and helped me out. My mom came by, helped me out, and I got back to being good again. Like I had my care, yesterday morning. I didn't have my care this morning, but I was in a position or a situation where like I had no difficulty operating this morning because I, had support and help, you know, before. I had support and help on Sunday. Had um, I'm I got it situated and I got it figured out, and that's what we all got to do. It's different for everybody too. Like my situation is different than everybody else's situation, even Shawn and Bobby. As much as we can relate to each other, like we all got different contexts of our lives, different things. But um, talking about your situation, getting advice from others on how they operate, and how they find that balance and how they make it work, um, has helped me learn how to do it, helped me teach others, how to do it. My independence is so, so important to me. I think it is probably like the single most important thing to me, um, in my life. Uh, and I hold it so high, and I hold myself to such a high standard. But understanding I still have a lot to learn, too, in terms of managing myself, my health, and my care moving forward. It's not something like, oh, I can just learn it all and like I'm good. It's like a constant process, because things are constantly changing. My body is constantly changing. My, the people that help me, caregivers are constantly changing. Our lives are constantly changing in all kinds of ways that force us to, continue to have to learn and balance our time and our energy in a healthy and an effective way. I think it is so easy to get out of balance, not even you know? And that's when you gotta ask for help, listen to your people. Um, Bobby, how you
Tom,
feel?
that's real. And that was, you got me choked up. Thanks a lot. um,
It's real, though. It's real.
yeah, sometimes,
Like I was crying. I was choked up talking about it because
yeah,
it
and,
choked me up on day too.
here, I'll say this. I get frustrated with the three of us sometimes in a sense that we come here every Tuesday and we put on a good smile. We put on a good, it's not an act. We are truly happy and blessed and do a lot of great activities and, have a lot of amazing people. One thing I frustrate that is about wanting to be real sometimes. And this is a perfect opportunity to get real. That we all want to, sometimes just scream at the, or we do, not that we want to, we do scream at the top of our lungs.
Yeah,
And it is frustrating. And it's that, you know, I don't know if anybody out there and wants that one day of able body day or 10-minute day of just like get up and just like, oh, standing and just, okay, now I can grab and tighten this up, change this light bulb, whatever it is, but we don't, you're trapped. And there's a lot of people trapped. You don't have to be, disabled. You can have other, issues. You know, Grandma said it just right. We all need help. Doesn't matter if we're AB or not. I mean, my wife, went through something where she needed a lot of help. And it went both ways for a while. And luckily, I was strong enough to help her during a critical time that she needed a lot of help for what I could give. And, we know we need to say yes to when people are offering. What can I do? Here's a perfect thing. Can I do anything while you're struggling? Yeah, buy me gift cards. When my wife went down and then when I went down, all my wife said is bringing too much food is very overwhelming. But if you'd like to donate a gift card, that would be better. For when, those nights that we do have to spend our too much money on that, Uber Eats or whatever you call um, Grubhub, and that helped a lot, and people felt good about it. Um, but I'll tell you one thing, Tom. In Quadland, we have something called a 45-minute rule, not a 5-second rule when you drop something. And nobody caught this but my wife and I. But one of our brats, I dropped it on the ground before I started cooking it. And Ellen saw it. I'm like, Ellen, come here. She's like, what? I'm like, I got a brat down there. And she's like, all right. And she picked it up. She goes, what do you want me to do with it? I'm like, put it on the grill. It'll cook away, you know?
Oh, so that leftover broth that I take home that tasted like a little tinge of dirt.
Right.
That's why. Thanks, Bobby, for
That was
Yeah.
the
telling me.
one.
That had the spider webs all over it.
This
That
is
was on the
extra
ground.
flavor. This is extra flavor.
But,
It's
I,
just
I
they call
always,
it a little cowboy pepper. Like it's just a little
yeah,
cowboy pepper. It has a
yeah,
little flavor.
but it was real, Tom. And um, I, I like being a quad some days, but most days I hate it. And it's not a quad. You can make me a para, and I know I would hate it just the same. I want my life back. You know, Anybody out there, please put in the comment box and message me if you're a big Tour de France because I can talk it all day. And my wife is like, my wife can talk politics, and I'm like, ugh. And I talk Tour de France, she's like, ugh. But I am the biggest Tour de France fan. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to race bikes so bad. And my brother's an avid mountain biker. And he's, now he has like a mountain bike, an e mountain bike, a road bike, a bike, e bike to go to work. He's got a gravel bike. He has a beach cruiser. My brother just loves biking. He never did when I was doing it back when I was younger. He was until he turned hippie and went up to Santa Cruz area. But um, I'm so jealous I can't ride with him. I'm so frustrated. And so I want to be real about that. I hate being like this. And I'm sure a lot of people feel it. But you take one day at a time. You take one crisis at a time. If it's your shit in your pants or peeing your pants, I was bears today that I got on the table when I was doing wound care, and all of a sudden I got that quick, oh man, I wasn't leaking, but sometimes around my suprapubic it will leak a little bit. And so, but I smell it, and that's embarrassing. And it's like, and then sometimes you put your hand down there and you smell it. You're like, God dang it, man. You're all conscious. Friday night, we were at my grandson's baseball game. And I had to go to the bathroom. It was almost the end of it. They said, let's go one more inning because the lights just turned on. And that's when I was like, oh my God, it's past my bedtime. And I said to my wife, I go, and I was sitting up so straight and I wanted to my hips forward a little bit. So my wife grabbed my shorts, pulled on my shorts so my hips can go. And all of a sudden I'm like, what the? And my leg, she accidentally, when she grabbed in, she accidentally hit my leg bag open. So it poured down my legs, onto my footrest, onto the ground. I just stayed there. Like, I'm sure nobody knew what happened except my wife and I, but I'm just like, now I smell like piss. I got to transfer into my car. It's late, tired. Ah, and that's what it is. That's what life is. It's a balancing act. But I remember the good days, the days I don't have that, the days do I have lots of energy, the days that I have friends and I have help and I have my wife to help me and I have, this, when my wife went down and was in the hospital for 5 weeks, my old roommate stayed with me for 5 weeks and even more. That people are going to be there for us. And I know maybe out there, and I'll be real, that maybe some people don't have that. And it crushes me more than anything. It crushes me more to see anybody have to struggle. That's why I'm very choked up of your story, Tom, because, that's the worst, is seeing somebody who has to struggle. And, you know, I, I struggle, but I know we all struggle. You don't have to be disabled. You can be AB and you can struggle with money. You can struggle with just the simplest things. Your car keeps breaking down. You can't keep your job. You have no, and it's just like, it's very frustrating sometimes, and a lot of it is the way we manage things. Sometimes you see the people that have a lot of problems, they don't manage their time. And so it is very important the way we need to manage. Reach out to people, make those friends. So when you need to somebody to have rely on, they're going to be there for you. Don't be an enemy, be a friend.
That's it. All Sunday was like such an emotional day for me. All we can do. I mean, like truly, at the end of the day, all we can do, I think, is be there for one another. And help each other. Whether it's like just by sharing a smile or a kind word to somebody, or driving 2 hours to like spend the day, like having somebody out, like whatever that is. And like it can be any form or anything, but at the end of the day, we're all brothers and sisters in humanity, and we're all here to support each other. Like, you are so right, that it is so hard to see somebody struggling, see somebody feeling helpless and lost and alone. It is, and I've been that person, and then I've also seen, been that person with somebody who was that person. And my mom, she told me this story on Sunday. We were just sitting talking on how when I got hurt, I was 4. My brother and sister and I were 3, 4, and 5 years old. When we were in our accident together, and I ended up, being pretty messed up, with my spine injury and the other injuries that I suffered. And she's talking about how she was just sitting there crying, just sobbing, like experiencing probably the most extreme form of grief you can, without actually losing somebody. And my grandpa, was there sitting there with her, and feeling probably just as lost too. But in that moment, she had him. She had her papa there to, give her love, and if nothing else, just be there with her. Just like I got my family and my people and stuff, and I don't know, sometimes like that is enough. There's nothing to do except for just be there with somebody, and feel it with them. Know that they're not alone, and like that is it. And that can mean, that can be the difference maker for somebody. Is you don't gotta do anything, you just be there. Remind them that they are not alone, they're not by themselves. Like, as like bad as things are, Robert said it too, like one bad day doesn't mean bad life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this too shall pass. Like, assuredly, whatever it is that you're feeling, it will pass. It might take some time. It might take, it might, in the moment, it might feel like it's never going to pass, or the time that it will take might feel like forever until it will. But rest assured that it will, and you will get through it. And the time part of it all freaking sucks. But time is so relative. Like, I can think back to, you know, difficult times, difficult days, difficult weeks, months, years in my life. But I think back to them now, and it's just like, psh, like, gosh, like, it felt so hard, it felt so bad in that moment. But having gone past it, gone through it, like, it, it just seems like nothing. Like, the time is just very weird. In that, I truly believe, like, I mean, I don't believe it. It just is. It's all a perception. It's all how we perceive it. You know, getting lost. I can get lost in it sometimes, but most of all, I try not to think about it, other than to just be present in my current moment, my current day. I can get so easily lost in, like, thinking about how long, oh God, like at the start of my morning waking up, if, like, especially like if I had an accident throughout the night or something, it's like, fuck, I know, like, the next 3 hours of my life and what they're going to be like, but I don't think about it. I put on freaking something that I can listen to and help me pass the time, and I just get after it, because, like, in the end, like, that's all you can do. You just, like, I could sit, and I don't know, Mickey said a comment too, like, where she can sometimes get anxiety and sit there all night, um, thinking about asking somebody for help but not actually doing it. um, and I don't know, I can get lost too sometimes, like, especially like if I just know I have something really hard ahead of me, and I'm afraid to get started, because I know that, like, that means I'm going to be in it. I'm going to be in that difficult moment. I'm going to be dealing with that hard thing. And, like, if I can just push it off, and like wait to get started than, I don't know, like as more time I have before, I got to deal with it. And I don't know, like it can be so hard. It can be so hard to deal with that in the moment. All I can say is that having gone through so many of those experiences has taught me a lot. If you can learn from it, if you can learn patience and the skill and understand the feelings that you go through, kind of from like a self awareness standpoint, and it can help make it easier. Is that I'm saying, like, going through the hard things does make going through them in the future easier because you learned and you made it through the hard thing once, so you know that you can do it again because you did it one time, and you can bet your ass that it's going to be easier the next time you do it too. Having gone through it and learned what you did going through the difficult shit. I hope that all makes sense. I feel like maybe I'm a little like rambly here, but it's kind of difficult to quantify and talk about and discuss too because like it's hard.
I was just
You
gonna
know,
say too, like
go
the
ahead, Sean.
yeah, I was gonna say like it is important not to like dwell on those things, and like if you are having like just going back on it, harping on it, like thinking about it, talking about it, like just kind of, I know it's hard, but if you can just kind of move on with the day, try to take your mind off of it, do something else, like that just helps a lot, because that's one thing I think drives people crazy is like you think about you think about all the accidents, and they're like all you think about are those like times sometimes, and not all the times it did work out well and was fine and your days were good, and you had all great times. So
Yeah, Hip Crip said it. When you're feeling down, feel it, recognize it, move on. You know, it's just it's like kind of saying that let yourself have that bad day. I think we've said this so many times. Let that bad day happen, but the next day is a new day. Change your attitude, change your thought. It will change your life. And my wife luckily says, I can't believe how much patience you have. And I'm like, if I didn't have patience, you wouldn't be married to me, because I would be screaming at you all day, because I would be screaming at myself. And, the one thing that is so easy that a lot of us do sometimes, and we can get mad at our loved ones. We can get mad at them. And then all of a sudden, like, let's just say that, and then your friend comes in and like, how's everything going? Great, great, great. And my wife would be like, it ain't great. What do you, no, it's like, oh yeah, okay. Sometimes we lie to ourselves. And so we have to recognize not to take it out on, ourselves, our loved ones, and the people around us, but be real about it. No, it's having a tough time. I was telling these guys today, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling amazing. But I'm also really sad because I'm dealing with my parents, and it's difficult right now when my dad has real advanced Alzheimer's, and my mom is 108 pounds, Parkinson's, and her memory is just going just as bad. So it's like, no, it's not all great too.
I love the comment in the chat. Chris Wall said that quote from Ram Dass: "We're all just walking each other home." And I don't know. I think that's beautiful and like really resonates because I think it's so absolutely true. We're here to support each other, love one another. That's, I think, a big part of what we do here every week and Live to Roll is to, have an excuse to, get on, hang out like with the buds and hang out with you guys and stuff, but also to, you know, um, get support from you guys and help support y'all too, and help love all y'all and get the love from you guys and stuff. At least is a big part of it for me. It's like having an excuse to just get together and hang out and talk and support and love one another. And that's what I try to do in my regular everyday life too with people I got around me. And it really does help even on the bad days. I think I used to have a lot more hard bad days, and the bad days and the hard days aren't so bad and hard nowadays because I just have grown and learned so much. And I think learn to deal with some of those emotions and the feelings that come along with the bad days, the frustration and the stress and the pain and the anxiety and the sadness, the depression. I've, I do feel it. Just like Hip Grip said, like learning to, again, like, I don't know, I would like rail against those emotions and those feelings for the longest time because I thought and then I would get angry, pissed off instead of like sad and down, or maybe like a combination of all of it. Because I'd be like trying to not let myself feel it, trying to move past it, and still freaking struggling, and like not having let myself feel it or go through the full gamut of emotions. Like I wasn't able to move past it. So the next little thing that happened, like, broke me even worse. And, just like delayed the inevitable of, just having to go through it all and, like feel it and then move past it. Set it aside. It's like, okay, things aren't perfect. Not everything's okay. I might even still be feeling a lot of that stuff, but I'm able to let other feelings in. The happy ones, the love, the good feelings I get from doing the things that make me feel good. Like whatever the sunshine gives me that helps make me feel better. Like whatever hopping on, my favorite video game, gives me and makes me feel better and stuff. Like I can then let those in and you know start feeling better for real. Um, so it's so hard, you guys, and I think the hardest part about it is there's just no simple, like, oh, things are fixed, things are better. Like shit is hard. The hard days are hard. Absolutely, the good days are great, and then sometimes the good days turn hard in a minute, in a second, and you're like, fuck. Like everything was just so good. I was feeling so good. Everything was so amazing, and now like I'm sitting in shit and I have no way to figure it out, or clean it up, or figure myself out, or like move past this. Like, what am I gonna do from there and stuff? But I'm not. You learn and you get a lot of tools in your tool belt to deal with it. You have your care organized, or you have yourself set up to where you can handle it or get help handling it, and then move past it and get better and feel better. Um, the fact that there's no easy fix and there's no band-aid you could put on it, just like make it all better, like that is the hard part about, I think, this stuff, is that it is just so hard and it is not easy to figure out or move past. But we're all here doing it. I think a lot of us are smiling and feeling good, even if it's just kind of a little cynical smile for like relating to the difficult nature of some of this, you know. But that's okay. A smile is a smile, and we'll take it. And I think that's I one of the biggest things I gained from moving out, coming down here to beautiful sunny Southern California, and getting involved in the community is knowing that others are going through it too helps give me the strength to um, keep on going, because I know my buddy Shawn is struggling with his bladder and dealing with the same shit, and dealing with a lot of the other struggles, and I know my buddy Bobby's dealing with this wound, and like the the stuff that Bobby deals with, and I don't know, like knowing that like my people are going through it too, but they're making it. Like they got it. They're figuring it out. Like they're still, like I'm talking to them and they're laughing and smiling and feeling good and making me feel good. Like shit, like that gives me the strength. My family gives me the strength. Knowing how hard they work every day, doing all that they do. Even if they're not doing the same, going through the same struggles I am. Like I can certainly um, I know that their stuff is hard, just in a different way. And the fact that they're doing it gives me the strength to, keep doing it so that I can be there to help them. Like my mom did, on top of everything she did all week long, still came out and helped me. And then went, right, helped my papa, and my papa, was helping her, and, cooking her dinner. So she had hot food when she got home at the end of, helping me at the end of the day. But um, the help that she gave me He's given me the structure and the strength and the support, the comfort I need to help them back. You know, and remembering that, knowing that, like, makes me feel good, and like, still, like, it's all right. Like, because that's all we can do at the end of the day is help each other. You help me now, so I can help you later, and that's it. And the support and the love that I got from all you guys and everything I found down here, is like what helps keep me going. So
Not to this is such an awesome topic, and I think we're really hitting home, and especially by the comments we're seeing, and you know, um, Willie Adventures said it best. Knowing that so many people are going through the same thing makes it a little bit easier. We're not alone. It
yeah,
happens. And, I do remember that. We started talking about time management. Um, I might have to stick with that for us today because I have to coach at 5 o'clock. So, not that I want to wrap this up because this is going so awesome, but
No, it
and I,
is. And I
but
do want to shout out real quick too. We'll do our sponsors in a second. But
yeah.
earlier in the chat, we had Leverage
Oh,
Trading Journey did a $5 super chat. We appreciate you. And he also asked if we do a quad group. I feel like this is kind of our quad group, especially when it's just the three of us.
yeah.
This is kind of our quadcast, we call it.
hey,
Yes.
no, this isn't just a quadcast. It is three quads talking, but Brianna's been here in the chat. She's an amazing, strong, independent, powerful person who also is a paraplegic and has just as much to offer in terms of,
No, oh no. I was just saying this Tuesday when we do like, but the channel is abroad. We hit everything. We
yeah,
got
we try
we
to
got love for
represent
all.
everybody. We definitely, when it's the three of us on here, we talk about the quad stuff a little bit more. But this is definitely the SCI group talk chat. We talk a lot more about spinal cord injuries, but we anything, anybody, and everybody can relate to us. Like, I know we have buddy Kevin and our buddy Mr. Wheels. Like, they have completely different disabilities, but deal with absolutely the
The
same
same.
same,
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
struggles that we deal with every day. So it's certainly the quad talk, but we are here to represent and support everybody. And Brianna, love you too, dude. I don't mean to call you out, but I am always going quad squad, and like repping for the quads, but we want to rep for everybody
Yeah,
because
for sure.
we all go through it together. It's not just quads that are out here struggling. We all here to support each other,
Yeah, no,
regardless of
100%.
disability,
And we're
whether
all
you're
here.
disabled or not. Like, we still love you and support you. Like, this isn't just for individuals with disabilities either, because we got lots of people in our lives that are a big part of our lives that you know are disabled but still can really relate, and it's a big part of it too.
Yeah, and just shout out also tomorrow we got Tom coming back for gaming, right? Tomorrow night.
Yeah, yeah,
So
dude.
we got some, and that's a full spectrum of disability players we got
Are
going
you
on for that too.
are you playing Asteroids, Dig Dug, or Defender? Which one are you playing?
Duck hunt, duck hunt.
Bro,
Uh,
if you get
no,
Duck
not
Hunt, I will be on the gaming mic. I'll be up in there.
No, listen here, old man. All right, I'm not going to just say old man, old man. Gaming has evolved since when y'all were playing back on the NES and the Super Nintendos and stuff.
Yo,
you
We've
mean
entered the modern era of gaming, so we're playing some.
I'm all for the modern era of gaming, but if we had a live to roll duck hunt competition, like it's on, bro.
there we
All of us, we get the women on as well. Yo,
Well,
let's
it's
do
something
this.
that I don't know, like, big part of the literal gaming is obviously like adaptive gaming, making gaming accessible for people. I would argue to say that like games like Pac-Man, Pong, Duck Hunt, Asteroids, all the ones that you said are the most accessible games out there because of the simple nature of those games. Like
A
it's
B.
two buttons. It's maybe a joystick and a button, or maybe a joystick and A B. But no, you're absolutely right. Like some of those older games are the most accessible games because they're some of the simplest, most fun games out there.
No,
But in any event, we won't talk too much gaming right
oh,
now.
well,
As we
But
Tom,
wrap.
but I will say this. We were at a pizza parlor with my grandson, and he's like, Papa, I gave him $10, and that was gone in like 2 minutes. And I go, what the heck? And he goes, yeah, well, I was riding the motorcycle. That's $2 a game. And I'm like, what? And I
yeah,
told
games
him,
aren't
I'm
a
like,
quarter
in the,
anymore.
yeah, I go, in the old days, we put up a quarter for being next. And he's like, what? That's stupid. Like, what do you, no, I'm saying we put a quarter to say that we're next. And he's like, why would you do that? And I'm like, oh, I'm not even going to explain to you. He's like, but you guys didn't use a card? Like he's using a card for everything. I mean, you go over there, get your card, and then swipe. And it was just like, but,
The I don't
he's
know, the
like,
average price of games nowadays are like, video games you buy in the store is $70.
yeah.
Crazy. And in any event, we got some amazing sponsors. Speaking of money,
Hold on,
let's.
Tom, hold on. We do have, Shawn was going to finish what we have Thursday. And
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
so that's what also I wanted to shout out. We got the women's show Thursday, but this weekend is actually the Rolettes Experience. So we are going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday with a booth, and Brianna is going to be doing lives, and I think we're all going to be kind of involved in the lives. It'll be a women's hybrid kind of show for the couple days, maybe. But Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week, live from the Rolettes Experience, we will be streaming. So make sure to check that out. I'm going to set them up. You should get notifications if you guys have that little bell clicked on, which everybody should have that. And then also just we'll shout out next week. We got Rolling Over the Hill coming back for that Thursday, and like always, we are on Tuesday. We'll be back again with another live. But let's go,
next
Tom.
week,
You want to do
next
sponsors?
next week we are talking about asteroids and duck hunt. So,
All right, I'm with it. Huge supporters of the Live to Roll channel. For whom I don't know if we would be able to do all the amazing stuff that we've done the last couple of years. Big shout out to mobility professionals and urology professionals. Mobility Professionals is a premier rehabilitation equipment company out here in Southern California. So if it's wheelchairs, shower chairs, standing frames, or other similar rehabilitation equipment, please make sure to give them a call. They will help you out. They'll help make your life a whole lot easier and a whole lot more independent and functional, getting you the right equipment that will allow you to, do that and be that. They are amazing supporters of Live to Roll, but also just huge supporters of the community at large. Our entire community down here in Southern California, they just do so much to help support and lift us up. So we really love and appreciate them for that, and make sure to go give them some love if you find yourself in that situation, needing some new equipment. Let them know, Live to Roll sent you too. And their sister company, Urology Professionals, is a national company. So I know a lot of our viewers aren't from SoCal. If you find yourself in the need of like urological supplies, catheters, lubricant, the whole gamut, all the stuff that is surrounding catheterizing.
Tom.
Hey, it's a part of it. Anybody that calf, is like using some lube, baby. You don't want that going in dry. I
Well,
don't care if you're a
there's
guy or a
another
lady.
shop. There is
Let's not
another shop
let's
I know
not
you can.
derail the ads though too much or the sponsors too much. But the point is that they will hook you up with the supplies, whatever it may be, and they'll make the process super super easy for you. Like I said, they're all very professional, knowledgeable individuals that can help you navigate the system, get you samples of supplies in the interim if you are in need of supplies, but you still got to figure it out with your insurance and everything. And they'll just help get you taken care of as quickly as humanly possible and in the easiest route possible, navigating the healthcare system. So give them a call, let them know Live to Roll sent you, get yourself lubed up before you catheterize, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, and just like you
I
said, they
prefer.
are big supporters of the community, of us, and they actually will be at the Rolettes Experience as well this weekend. They have a booth; they'll be there, and even I think just helping out with other stuff. So yeah, great companies, great people, and yeah, they'll lube you up, like Tom said.
Lube you up. Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
We gotta
but
get a little off the rails at the end here. Come on
we
now.
I think we started a little bit off the rails, and then we got it good, Joe, and then we all just lost it again.
Yeah.
But
Hey, I
no,
don't like
it
to be
was a
off
good
the
show.
rails. Sometimes we gotta set our own path.
That's
Really,
right.
one thing I want to say about today, thank you for all of our listeners and our comments in the chat. I knew you felt what we are feeling and trying to say, and that really hits home to me. And much love to everyone who's watching and who's chatting with us and who messages us, and on a personal level with Instagram. So, remember, you're not alone. And managing time is an art, but it takes time. And in managing time, I am the worst one about wanting to be late. And as I'm sitting here almost late for a class I'm about to teach, but I hate being late. So I get very frustrated with a lot of things. You know, but a lot of times, slow down. You know, build build in your day for that time.
Yep, you got it. And love you guys. Bobby's got a coach here in 2 minutes, so I think we'll
Oh,
wrap it.
yeah. All right, so let's wrap it up.
Talk about managing
Thanks,
your time. You're right.
thank you guys for watching.
Tomorrow night. We'll catch you on Thursday. Come and hang out. We love you
All right.
guys.
All
Take
right,
care.
roll everybody.